All right, I'm live, man. Uh, I just got back from an outing where I had 5 or 6 Long Island's, some other miscellaneous Irish drink. Now I thought Jack Show would already be going. This is a closeout stream for Cash Grab, supposedly. I'm a little hurt. Hold on, let me share the screen here. Chrome tab. Because I have a oh shit, that is the cash grab thing. They just went live, so here we go. We are in business. However, I'm a little hurt on the thumbnail here. Let me there we go. We're gonna stream snipe them. Let's stream snipe them. If anyone's let me turn it down quite a bit for the intro at least. I might mute it later on, but yeah, I made a little graphic St. Patrick's Day, and Cecil decided to close out his thing, and I came in here fully expecting to be just inundated with shit, and here I am. I'm stream sniping the show. I thought I'd be coming in late on and everything. I've given a lot to Cecil, and I think he's so worth it. He's been such a great guy to me and everybody else. Everybody else has been good. I'm telling you guys, he's been a stand-up guy. For anyone who's been an artist, for anyone who has thrown him any art his way, he's been top-notch. Oh, holy shit, check it out. El Gargoyle here. How you doing, El Gargoyle? Throwing up the big old eggplant as per usual. If you got it, flaunt it, man. By all means. We're in the opening stages here. Who knows how long this opening is gonna go on for? But this is truly a closeout stage of all stages. Like I said, if you haven't caught it, I just came back from an outing. It's St. Patrick's Day. I went out and I had drinks with friends as a transition period for somebody I know, and not necessarily a good one either. You know, somebody who's like, yeah, they're moving up, but they're not really moving up. They're getting kind of a shit job, but they'll get paid more for this shit job, and that's what's going down. But yeah, this is landmark here. This is what I've been waiting for, is a closeout of cash grab. Miss you too, buddy, man. Do you want to get in on this? Do you want to be on with this with me? Are you ready? Are you equipped? Oh, Gargoyle, I'll just throw you the link. I don't care. I'm streaming under the influence, so I'm gonna throw it out there. I mean, like, I'm small potatoes. It would be true showing of the YouTube algorithm and everything else if we get dismissed by our talks. But oh god, how long will this go on for? The buy my book thing. All right, man. Here we go. I'll copy and paste it into the comments here, bro. Feel free to come in, and we'll hear the boop. We'll get you in here, bro. Boom. And highlight those things. And anyone that late to the game, hopefully I'll remember that it's there. Just as Control V, just laid down there for you again. Man, this is so old school. I feel like we're in 2018, 2019 watching this. It's been so many years. I kind of want to make like a joke, like you know how there was always like the Marvel annuals of books and everything. I would love to do like a cash grab, like triannual, quadrannual, like graduation package thing. You know, getting your bachelor's cash grab degree or something like that. Look at this. We only got Cecil. We only got John. I mean, listen, that's all we need. Here we go.
Yo,
what's up, El Girl? How you doing, bro?
Doing good. What I missed so far?
Have you been doing any live stream or anything, man?
Only on this Meet Me app so far because people can actually send you money through that. It's got a stupid point system, but
Have you made money off of it?
made $5 so far.
There we go. There you go. I mean, listen, that's more than I've made off of any app I've ever had. Um, all right, I'll say. Well, fucking my man Cecil, he's rocking my art in the background here. It's at least his background art. Of the leprechaun Cecil with cash grabbing the pot of gold. But John and Cecil are really all that's needed for a show, in my opinion. Kelsey's always MIA, and Anna's usually just like silent in the wings on anything. So at least it's promising on that front. But I literally cannot hear anything they're saying. I'm just excited to see this close out. I mean, I don't want to say too much, but you know, I might be in the works on stuff for the next book. So,
Dick Rider?
Maybe. I mean, listen, I'm scared to confirm anything because I feel like it could all change in a second. I don't know if you watched my usual show. Me and Liam went over, or me and Fresher Luke. We went over Liam and his striking of JDA, and I'm just like, oh man, this hurts everybody. It hurts you too, Liam. Like you've made a case for anybody to bring something down on you as well, by bringing this to the forefront, and it's just like, you don't need to bring in like a way to bring down somebody's campaign, even though I kind of get where he's coming from. There's a point where I feel like people just aren't in on the joke. Like Cecil will be in on the joke. You know, you can make a joke about him. You contact them, say, "Hey, we'd be okay with this." I bet you, money like all the time. He'd say, "Yeah, I go ahead, do it, whatever." But Liam is just like another brand. I feel like he's just fueled fire off of it and everything else. But I feel like it set a precedent where it's just like it's given people a pathway to bring down other campaigns, and so I'm a little bit like, why do you go that way with it? But at the same time, it seems like JDA and Liam have both like made off on that at the same time, and in a way.
Well,
did you back Xenotype?
Yes, I did. I was very disappointed with Xenotype.
Which one did you get? Because I got the silver one.
I got the platinum tier. The thing that I was disappointed about is, they had the Blade Devil variant cover, which he could have easily added to that to what I had paid for, since it was a platinum tour, and he talked about all these free comics that he was coming out with because of him reaching these goals. Never got those either.
Oh man. I mean, I just backed the silver because I figured, I'm a sucker for black and white art. I'm a sucker for good art, and so I figured,
fantastic.
Yeah, Odie had good shit, and yet, like I figured like the whole directions on the book, when you look at it from the outside, it literally has a thing like it's read from right to left, and so I'm starting to read it. I'm just like, what the fuck am I missing here? And I literally went through the whole thing. I'm just like, what the fuck? And then I went backwards. And then I noticed, it makes sense when I go from the front, like as if I was reading as a normal book, looking at the right page, then the left page, flipping right page, left page, right page, left page. And like reading like a manga like that. And I'm just like, so like I literally already seen the end of it. Thinking that's the way it was supposed to be read, and I'm just like, oh my god, I've seen everything there is to see at the end point. I'm just like, what a colossal failure.
The color one, I read the color one, so
yeah, I didn't get the color one, but yeah, that was ordered correctly.
And Spartan Scotsman's colors look good.
I'm sure it was all tight legit. I just figured like they were doing a true manga version.
But
I wanted the like true experience, but they just did not order it right, and I was just like, holy, like it was so bad,
yeah,
how
yeah.
they did that.
Did you read the story too?
About
The whole Xeno. I didn't like the story myself because there was just way too many questions in the beginning of it, and then he decided to put the this key in the end to explain everything in the book. And it's like, then either
you
why
know,
have it, and how am I supposed to understand that this is another fucking planet?
oh, I honestly, I misread it, and then I like going back through. I'm like, okay, now it all makes sense. Like after I rearranged it in my head, okay, now it actually makes sense because it's just like, what the like, is this some head trip where I'm like going back through time? Like I thought it was next level or something, and then I'm like, oh wait, no, it was supposed to actually be presented in this way, but it was so fucked up because I heard it was fucked up, and then I was going through it as he said it, and I was just like, it, I'm not really getting where this all connects, but it didn't make sense at the same time, and then I was like, oh wait, like I mean I literally had to go through the whole book, get to the end, which was actually the start, and then go forward. I'm like, oh okay, and I'm like, wow, that's really bad. That's really bad because I mean, for me as somebody who, like I feel like on the art end, I could kind of lock it down on some level. What I worry about is the print end all the time. Is what I worry about is print end. Are the colors going to match? Even when it comes to black inks, like a lot of times, what I heard from one of my old teachers is like on a printer, CMYK, so it's cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. Those are the printer inks that you get.
Mm-hmm.
If you want a truly deep black ink, you add color to that black ink. Like it's not just black; it's black plus red or something else, like where it mixes in color on top of it, and that gives it like a richer looking black than just black ink. Because you do just black ink, it's literally just that coat of ink. But if you ever had any color stuff underneath of it, that'll look darker than the rest of it. So you're supposed to, like, if it's black, you put something else behind it as well to saturate it more, like make it look a deeper saturated black. And I was just like, oh man, like if somebody never told me that, I would never think about it, right? But
Right.
I've seen that, in pages before, like where you have that distinction and it does look bad. So I'm like, okay, catalog that in my brain, like moving forward. And yet this is something where it's like the pages are out of order. And it's like everything I've ever seen anybody ever do, like you always get a print proof copy where like, okay, if I said print me X amount of copies, this is what I'm gonna get. And it's just like he skipped that step. I'm like, I
Quick
can't
question.
believe that. Go on.
Quick question. Did you see the debate with John Della Rose and him? That dumped
No,
Leonard Skinny?
quite honestly, I feel like they're just like attention hounds. Like they're looking for, they're seeking attention, and they're kind of getting it right now. Like it's almost like they benefit no matter what. Like
In that little debate, Liam was pointing the finger at, of course, Odie for the backwards book. And then he went to, oh, Spartan Scotsman even said everything fine.
I
Spartan
heard,
Scotsman only was a
yeah,
colorist of one side of the book. That's the part he saw.
yeah, I heard something about that, and I was just like, well, it'd be one thing if you're, let's say your artist did tell you, like, yeah, I got, just hit print, you're all good, and then it's actually not good. That's still on you. You're the project leader. You're the one running the shit. Like it's all on you. That's why you get proof copies. That's why you get print proofs of everything.
Exactly.
No matter what. I mean, even if let's say you did know it was in the right order, like you knew it was in the right order, you still want to see when you hit print, what do you actually get in hand after the fact?
Yeah, but
and it's
even why is it so hard to write to your backers? Yo, I fucked up. The printing's backwards.
yeah. And I didn't expect. I was just like, there's no fucking way Liam's got the pockets deep enough to correct this for everyone, because pretty much the majority of his backers are international. Like there's no way. Like I got my package, dude. I can't believe I even got the book. Like it was so fucking the box it was sent in was so fucked up.
Oh, you want to
Opened.
talk about fucked up? Mine was nearly gutted. I had half the box come in with the comic book sitting in it.
Well, I had a box, but I mean, it literally could have just slipped right outside. Like you could have just tilted it, and the book could have fallen out of it. Like that's how open it was. And I was just like,
Exactly.
at least I got the book. Like that was my takeaway. At least I got the book, even though it's like presented in this really fucked up fashion. I got the book, and you know, I was at least cool with that. However, I was just like, okay, somebody really fucked this up. Is this how you meant to do it? Because some people, like he showed the proof, like he did have a print proof copy. He showed it on stream. He's like, this is what it's gonna look like, and people are like, yeah, that's the way he presented it. And it's like, oh, okay, I guess, but I don't understand who ever read a book this in this format. Like it's literally like, imagine you're reading a regular book, but instead of starting reading on the left page, you start at the right page, and then you're reading backwards like manga style. So like you start at the top right panel, work to the top left panel, and then down to the next set. So it's right, left, right, left, right, left. And then you read the left page in that fashion, but you turn the page as if it was a regular book. And again, you start on the right page and the left page. Yeah. And I was just like, this is the most convoluted, stupid way I've ever seen anything done. And yeah, it's just like, you know, he must have fucked up really bad. And I feel bad for him. Yeah, and
don't feel bad for him. He was spending backer money to try to get laid. Remember, he had a lot of money to have sex. Where do you think all that money came from?
But at the same time, I'm like, well, you know, I got the misprinted copy, so that's in some way worth more if it ever becomes something. That's how I looked at it. I never sent him anything like I want a new copy. I never expected anything like that. I was like, this is way too much for him to go back to the printer and fix this. Like, if I got this, everyone got this. So I was just like, it's fucked. It's fucked.
Yeah, we all knew that everyone got it. Ethan Van Sciver got how many copies worth?
he backed big time. He was like top tier backer, and then he just burned them all. Oh shit! Sorry, I hit the space bar. There we go. Add you back in. The space bar hits my last activity, so I didn't mean to kick you. It just kicked you because I accidentally tapped it. But yeah, the color book. I mean, I figured he was going for a manga style. I wanted the manga style book, and like I said, it just came in completely fucked up. And then there was his new book, Adventure Island or whatever, and I'm just like, yeah, not really interested.
So fucking gay
at all. Yeah, so like gay. When you try to make kids books, it's like you fail almost every. Like it's kismet when they actually hook. You know, like when somebody actually gets that book that makes it. Where the Wild Things Are, BFG, Big Friendly Giant, whatever those series are. It's just like you just happen to hit the right thing at the right time, and that's why you're in that market. Like, and I guess in a way it's kind of it should settle people. Like, you know, like it's really hard to crack into that top tier. Like you have to be phenomenal in some fashion or another, or just have the right mix to hit it right. But how are you doing, man? What are you doing for this St. Patrick's Day? You doing anything special?
I'm drawing right now.
Yeah, that a boy. Did you see the new Batman movie?
No, I didn't. For me,
I really liked it. Now I can get a number of complaints from it. I think Colin Farrell was fucking awesome as the Penguin, and he wasn't even really the Penguin as people know the Penguin. He was Tony Soprano essentially, and the Penguin was just his handle. Like that's just what people knew him as. I other than the nose, I don't know. Like he didn't wear tux. He didn't do any of the normal Penguin things. You know, he didn't have like the flipper fingers. He didn't have a meow 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 or anything. Like that was just his handle.
Nolan kind of universe.
In a way, but I would say it's even more grounded than that. Like there was some grandiose notion to the Nolan universe. I guess you could say the Riddler's plan was grandiose, but at the same time, it's not as if like it's so outside the box. And certainly like the Penguin, which you would think would be like a flair kind of character, is not a flair character. Like he does not indulge on any facet of that, like anything you ever seen in the Penguin. Like it just is indulged on this movie. Like he seemed like complete crime boss or capo character that was looking on making a move in the transition or something. Like it totally fit Colin Farrell. I couldn't even tell it was Colin Farrell at all, but he totally nailed the part. And HBO doing a spin-off series, I'm totally down with it. Like because it just seems like it's just a straight gangster like crime film kind of thing. Like I would be stoked to see it happen.
Huh.
Now
let me ask you this: Did Bruce Wayne ever grow up in a mechanic shop in this movie?
They don't really do anything backstory at all. Like he's just Batman. He's doing his thing. Like they don't do any origin story. There's no mention of the parents. Like it's refreshing in that aspect.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, the movie is really just driving the plot, and I just figured, oh, it's all tied up, and then it keeps going. Like there's this extra half hour tacked on the end. And I was like, oh man, like at that point you just like wrap it up. But then it sucked me right. Like as soon as I'm willing to be like, okay, just end the fucking show, end the movie. They sucked me back in at the end. Like the finale was totally worth it on the Batman. So total recommend on my part. And like they're doing the Penguin spinoff. I'm totally for it. I think he was the best character. Did enough to sell him on it in the movie. I don't care to see anybody else. I guess the most cringe thing is that Zoe Kravitz as the Catwoman. She has this like throwaway line at some point where just like, oh yeah, the only reason why these Gotham DAs and everyone else that's corrupt get away with it is because they're old white men. And I'm just like, oh, God, that's the only kind of really woke thing that they do. And beyond that, I guess the worst thing is that she has like the worst like disguise mask ever. Like you see her eyes, you see her face. This is like, and even what's Robinson as the Batman, like his jawline so distinct. It's just like if that's the only thing you're gonna show is Batman, man. Like yours is this too standout. You need a chin strap or something, man, to hide that. But I really fucking love the movie. I just wonder where it fits in the franchise because it seems like they're going off of the old Justice League movie, but they're getting rid of the Affleck Batman, and this is like a completely different Batman by all beginning standards. So I don't, and at the same time, they're gonna do like a new Flash movie, and they showed like at least 3 separate Flash characters. So I'm wondering if Flash is going to be the break off point for this new series because he was the same multiverse crisis character as well. So you know, I'm curious to see where they go with it because I feel like right now this is DC's game to pick up the ball because I feel like Marvel is moving into this new phase where all their new characters fucking suck.
Yep.
Just move forward with it.
Did you see that Camila Khan trailer?
No. Did they make one?
There's a trailer out. They released a trailer. It looks terrible.
Now, are they marketing as Camila Khan or Miss Marvel? How what's the movie?
Miss Marvel, and they kind of changed her powers a bit. Her arms don't just stretch anymore. They're some kind of galactic.
Here we go.
She's like,
she was never good anyways. It's like, oh my.
Yeah, there it is. The second one.
This one, Miss Marvel trailer. Oh.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, they do the powers up.
It's 2 minutes. All right. So like every 10 seconds, I'll pause it and then say something, no matter how innocuous it is.
The Weeknd.
Oh no! Are they doing this whole Spider-Verse into Spider-Verse?
Yes.
Like, oh
Yep.
no!
The
In a live
graphic
action, that's
teenage
awful.
thing.
And she's looking kind of pudgy over here. So
Yeah, she's a pudgy little Indian girl.
Oh god. You know, there's the thing, like as a guy, like all the superhero types are like buff, masculine. Like, I mean, really kind of a steroid, testosterone, human growth hormone fueled. That's how you get those body types. Like, truly, for most people, that's how you get those body types. Unless you just have freak genetics, that's how you do it. And even then, it's strict diet and exercise regimen to hit that. So it's kind of like, I kind of hate this whole like, oh, it's not, women can't do it. Oh, I think my browser might have froze up on me here.
Uh-oh. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but nothing's happening on the visual front for me here.
Just try to refresh
interaction.
Quick. You won't leave.
I might have you take controls here for a minute. Talk to the people. We'll see. I might have to just kill it and then restart Chrome, because that's where the hiccup is at. I mean, I can be heard. I just can't control anything right now. All right. I'm going to close it and come back in. It shouldn't take me more than a minute.
Okay.
Oh, shit. It came back to me. It came back to me.
Okay.
I'm going to close this other tab where shit was going down. Here we go. All right. Yeah, we're back. We're back. So let's go to like the 20-second mark and see where this goes.
Okay, so first off,
oh, no. Oh, no.
Yep. With the Weeknd.
Oh, no.
Bet you the principal's
Oh,
gay.
no. This is so bad. This should be direct to Disney Plus, at least. Like, that's...
It is a Disney Plus.
So they're not even going to release it in theater. Well, I'll say at least they got that much right. But, I mean, this is just... There's like a flavor to the Disney Plus offerings. Beyond... So, what did you think of Mandalorian? Like, as... Like, let's just take first season, Mandalorian... series. What do you think of that?
I think the all-time best episode for that show was the last season 2 episode with Luke Skywalker.
Okay. Okay.
Otherwise, I didn't like it too much. It was just like, yeah.
So I would say season 1, it honestly seemed like episodes 1, 2, and 3. Those were done as pretty much like a standalone film, like acts of a film. 1, 2, and 3, like where he finds the child, then tries to rescue child, and then, you know, him and the Mandalorian crew fight against the whole bounty hunter paradigm to rescue the child. But he's still in the wild in a sense. Like he's never safe. He has to look over his back everywhere he goes. But at least the central paradigm that he had to break free from, he's done that. He's not in immediate danger, but he still has, you know, somebody gun in front of him everywhere he goes. Like he will always have a target on him no matter what. And I thought that's a great place to do it. Those first 3 episodes. So it was like where he goes out to get the rhino egg or whatever the fuck it is, and win back Baby Yoda or whatever from the Jawas. I forget everything.
Got his parts for his spaceship. Yeah. He had a security system the whole time.
Yeah, that
he didn't activate.
There's plenty of like things you can target at it, but at least it worked all right enough, and it was a complete arc in its own. But after that fact, it just kind of fell apart. You know, moving forward from there, I think the best episode was probably where Bill Burr came in or whatever, where he was working with the other clandestine elements of the bounty hunter universe or whatever, the dark sector, but also risked everything by doing that. Exposed the child who was still hunted at that point. That was, for me, probably one of my favorite episodes past that. But a lot of it was just like, oh, this is just so mediocre. And season 2 is just so much of that. And the Boba Fett guy, so much of that. And seeing, I didn't even watch anything of Boba Fett. I just saw like screen caps and all that. Everybody's take on it. I was like, I'm glad I didn't waste any time on it. And you know, I wasted time on WandaVision. I wasted time on Falcon Winter Soldier. I wasted time on these other series. I'm just like, you know, I think WandaVision started out all right because it, like, the first couple episodes was just like intriguing. It's just like, oh my gosh, there's so many places to go with it. But then you just see it stutter and play out, and just like, you failed on this promise. And then the Falcon Winter Soldier was a complete mess, except for, I thought the was it John Walker, U.S. Agent? He was the most compelling guy in the whole thing, because it was just like, he was set up to be the anti-hero bad guy, whatever, but he overcame it anyways. It was still the good guy. But we got like the whole Falcon like woke speech or whatever, and it's just like, you fucked it up. You guys fucked it up so bad.
Not even just that, they made Steve Rogers look like a fucking total asshole.
The
whole fucking time. And then they just failed opportunities. You know, the first fucking few minutes of that show was really fucking strong.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that action scene where he's like chasing those helicopters. Were they helicopters or jets?
Mm-hmm.
It was fucking badass.
Yeah.
Then it was just like, meh. We're gonna talk about race. We're gonna talk about politics.
And the fact that they try to in any way glorify that ginger terrorist chick is just like, no, it's over. Like, it's over. There's nothing to see here on her side. Like, it's just like she's willing to throw anybody into the fire for her cause whatsoever. That's the mark of somebody that's just like caught up in like an evil. Like, this should be the warning sign. You tell others, like, look out for that. Not trying to understand it and reach across the aisle. It's like, no, that's somebody who's willing to go too far in your negotiations. Like, it's over. It's over.
Ironic that they use fucking Joe Biden's campaign.
yeah. And at that point, I was pretty done. I didn't watch any of the Hawkeye stuff.
I didn't even fucking care, man.
Well, was there something else in the Disney verse? Like, I just got tired of hearing the whole like ragging on stuff. I'm just like, if you're over with it, just be over with it. A lot of people had like supposedly the dividing line on Gina Carano being ousted, and it's just like, okay, well then hold true to that and stop watching this shit that they put out. I mean, there's a lot of signs, I think, that showed that Disney they weren't in it for the true fans. Like, getting rid of the whole like backstory, extended catalog, all the novels and shit. It's just like, oh, it's all out. Shadows of the Empire, I mean, that was a video game series that was like huge, totally marketable, totally cashable. Like, just take the story, transit, just make it on screen. That's all you have to do. And they're just like, nope, we want our version of it. And the whole extended story or whatever, you know, all these people that devoted all this backstory to, that George Lucas signed off on and made toys of and everything. And I know some people in retail, they're like, yeah, these guys would show, they want to buy like literally like the pallet box that comes in unopened. Like, don't open it. It's worth more to me unopened than opened. I don't want the individual toy boxes. I just want to buy the pallet box. Like, that's how it would go. Like, it's an automatic easy sell for like Toys R Us or whoever was like an open brand at that point. Like, you could sell pallets of Star Wars toys before Disney acquired the whole series and everything. That's how hot it was. And then after the fact, it's like stacks and stacks of roast Tico on the shelves, like this, like never before. It's crazy to think on. I was even looking at back in the day, the best offering I guess you got with the original series was the they released a set of DVDs where you had the unaltered masters of the original movie, and then the special edition disc in a box, right? For New Hope, uh, uh, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. So you had the original movie unedited, and that's like everything too. Like there's tons of edits that George Lucas would do that were like totally worth it. Like the intro thing, like the whole like da, 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 like the Star Wars everything. Like you don't understand how like tinny it sounded and how like janky it was like in the original version versus the special edition version until you see them side by side, or that original unedited one, because it was literally like there's no THX remastering anything on it. It was just the film reel recast on DVD, but that shit was selling for like $200 each disc, like at the point of not even Force Awakens. I feel like it was even before then, because I was like, I don't really need to see Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi. I had the New Hope one, and I was just like, holy shit, this stuff's out of print, and it was going for like $200 on like Amazon, eBay, everywhere else. I was like, this is fucking crazy. I fully expected somebody to cash in on that, like a remastered version of that original one. Like you're not doing anything. You're not adding lines. You're not adding in a special effects Java or anything else like the special editions will work in those markets, the US markets. I was like, this is an easy fucking sell. This is all people are looking for. It's just like the enhanced version of the original, and it still hasn't happened. It's crazy to think on. Is that like a text notification?
Yeah, that's
okay. I thought you were fucking with me or something. I'm like, what? Like every time I finish a point, you're just gonna do that? That's fucked up, man. You got the shanks, Lucius. All right, we've only made 20 seconds. Oh my gosh, into a 2-minute thing. This already looks so fucking bad. This is like the kids in the neighborhood at the 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Filming something. It's that level, man.
She looks like the owner's daughter of the place.
Yeah. Oh my god. You know, I think maybe I'm, I hate to say it, maybe I'm just too old, like maybe just life's moved too fast. This is the thing that kids want to see. I can't imagine myself as a kid wanting to see this, but maybe life for them so distorted and warped, they do want to see this.
Probably super young little girls, because my old sister-in-law at the time, when she was like fucking 9, 10, she was into iCarly and that Justice show on Nickelodeon. Even when they fucking released that the fucking producer was a fucking dirty pedophile, they still love that fucking show.
Yeah, but I feel like that's most kids shows anyway. Like, it's just like, what kind of producer is really involved with that? And like, yeah, it's just like, oh, it's a like 50-year-old guy, and you're like, what? The 50-year-old guys from this show? You're just like, I don't know about that. But this is just like, I don't know, like the standards are pushing. I can't imagine being convinced like maybe I wanted to be a girl. Like the whole like trans thing is something I still can't wrap my head around. Like I feel like everyone, like I don't want to take anything away from you, but it's just like, doesn't everyone have something that they don't like about themselves, or something feels just like comes short, you wish you could change, and like, but you can't, you just can't, or you get cosmetic surgery, but it's still just, it's a half step. It's not even like, it doesn't change it truly. Like what are you really looking for in all of this?
Of course that, but I would think even as a little kid, like, I hate to bring this up, like a childlike empress in Never-Ending Story, wouldn't you want her to look, even in this, appealing to like boys and girls? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I can't wrap my head around. Like it's enough to feel like, oh, I hate who I am. All right, like it's like, okay, I can understand that thought, but why do you think you should be a totally different person than who you are? Where does that come from? What's that thought? How do you not think that's not a delusion?
It's mental retardation.
Right, but they're totally. I mean, that's the thing, is that the mental health organization is totally changed the definition of it all. Like, it used to be some kind of like body dysmorphia kind of thing, just like people anorexic or whatever. You know, like you can never be skinny enough, even if your ribs are showing, your shoulders are poking. Like, you literally look like a skeleton wrapped in skin. You still think of yourself as fat, and it's just like there's nobody else in the there's nobody in your circle of friends or their circle of friends who are as skinny as you. Like, they don't have that body fat percentage. You are literally on the brink of death from like the lack of like resources you have in your body to sustain yourself through a day, and yet you think you're fat. That's body dysmorphia. That's the same thing in my mind as like you're a dude and you think you're a girl, or girl you think you're a guy, kind of thing. It's just like, listen, this is in your head. All right, like everyone's born in the body. Like, you think somebody who's a cripple, spina bifida, like any of these other, like all the litany of like birth defects, congenital defects you can be born with. Do you think they picked that? Like, they wanted that? That's who they are. That's who they identified as. That's what they live with. Like, they can't change that. There's no wand to get them out of that.
I totally agree, but there were people out there, you can look them up, there were people who broke their own legs just because they wanted to be permanently disabled.
Oh, yeah.
There was a woman who fucking poured some kind of chemical in her eyes to become blind.
Yeah. I saw those like talk show shit, and I'm just like, this is insanity. It's you're not trying to sell this though. You're not trying to tell other kids that, yeah, you know, if you feel like you should be crippled or blind too, by all means, throw sulfuric acid in your face, or you know, cut off your limbs or break your legs. Like, it's just like, no. Like,
well, you tell let's put it out there. We don't tell people to kill themselves, and they say, I'll feel better if I'm dead.
You know, but nobody's trying to say it. I mean, it's a philosophical, mental thing that you have to go through or whatever, and it's just like, okay, if that's the thing you want to go down with, but you don't try to normalize it. You know, you're not trying to say like everybody thinks this, everybody goes through this, and it's normal for you to think this too, and that's okay. We accept you for who you are, and in fact, we really want to expose other kids. Like, we want them to know, like in kindergarten, pre-K, or first grade or whatever, we want to expose them to these ideas and let them know it's okay to harbor these ideas in their head, because it's totally normal. It's totally normal. It's like, no, it's not. It's not. Like, I don't think any kid I've ever met in my life. Now, I never met anybody who was super abused, but you know, you didn't really meet somebody who was suicidal until like middle school, high school, or something. Like, you know, like 11, 12, 13, 14 or whatever, like in that age range. Like, I can't imagine anybody 10 or under who's just like, I want to kill myself, unless they were like in a terribly abusive situation. I never met anybody like that, but you had the people who were just like, you know, they had a hard time of it. Maybe they were picked on, harassed in school, and they're just like, I'll never make it, and that's where they're at. But like, it's not as if you're like normalizing that across the board, and you're like telling people, telling anyone who has like a sad thought ever, like, it's okay if you want to kill yourself. It's perfectly normal for you to do that. In fact, we have facilities that will help you carry it out. It's just like, this is insane. But you're right. Like, they try to push that shit. We're only 30 seconds into this.
Yeah, it
so
already
far.
looks like shit, right?
It does. Yeah, and like, this is not the face of selling the franchise right here. I'll tell you that. And this foot right here,
it bothered me. I thought it was hers.
No, well, it's not, but you definitely feel like it was put there on purpose. Like it was meant to like take a heroic thing and like downgrade it at the same moment. Just like she's jumping out of like an apartment.
She
like
looks like
window
a flying French tickler.
Like most heroes are jumping off like a skyscraper or whatever. Like this is just like the stairwell of the apartment complex, the subsidized apartment complex or whatever is what I'm seeing here. Yeah, I landed it from the second floor.
Hey, already? Really? What, like...
Do I have to figure out my whole future before lunch, or
Oh wow.
maybe they're right. I spend too much time.
Oh, and she's crying.
I don't know if I can make it all the way through this. It's so bad. I mean, look at this costume.
Yeah,
that is like okay, yeah, it is like a Halloween costume. Okay. I was gonna say it's like that's not. Oh no. This is so bad. I feel like they're going for like a teen drama. I'm just gonna like scrub through this real quick.
It is a teen drama.
Oh. But like who would get into it? It's just so like mundane so far. Like the most mundane people and costumes. That's not.
See, that's her powers now. She's got these
make
bracelets
big hands,
and she can make shields now.
Mm.
But it's not her hand. It's some kind of super projector.
Okay.
So they changed her powers up.
June 8th. Can't wait. Wow.
This
I mean,
so makes me want to subscribe to Disney Plus now.
Marvel is just fucking it up. They're fucking it up so bad because they had such a stellar. It's crazy. So it's kind of topsy-turvy. I used to think of it as topsy-turvy. Like DC had the greatest cartoons: Batman animated series, Superman, Justice League Unlimited. Like they're like, I think if you watch through the Bruce Timmverse series of things, you fucking like it. Versus, you know, the X-Men, which I feel was just cut off at some random point because they ran up. That's usually how cartoons go.
It was cut off, but X-Men, that was great.
It was all right.
Spider-Man was great too.
Yeah. Marvel actually had a good showing. Like there were two different versions. I remember seeing it was kind of like there was an Iron Man and Fantastic Four.
Yes,
that looked like Iron Man
and yes.
Yeah, and then they upgraded it and it looked fucking awesome.
And they had an Incredible Hulk TV show that was really great.
Yeah. And then like for some reason after that, it just kind of like languished or just like dissolved. Like I don't remember anything. Like I know they made more iterations, but none of them stuck the way any of those did.
I know why they didn't stick is because they didn't have enough money to broadcast them in every fucking city. I remember X-Men.
That's the thing. Even the like the DC ones were mostly on the like WB network, which was like kind of like the podunk one. Like I think the Batman anime series made it on Fox, which is more widely distributed.
Yeah,
but overall, as far as like a content, like the DC animated series is just like stellar, but their movie line sucked. Whereas like with the Marvel things, it was like the opposite. The movie line was awesome, and their cartoons were like kind of trash, forgettable or unmentionable. And it's just like
I would say the exact opposite with DC's fucking movies. The DC movies, including now, are way better than the Marvel ones.
I like them more, but most people hate them because they're darker. Like they're more somber, I guess. Like they're not happy, jovial. Let's do some quick quips and shit like that.
They're doing animated movies with comic book lines. The newest one, The Long Halloween, is the Jeff Loeb.
Yeah, they do the straight like transitions and they're animated, but as far as like the live action ones, like I feel like the Batman v Superman and the Snyder Justice League, I'm like, yeah, these are way darker in tone, but they are exploring the deeper elements of hero stuff, even though it kind of undermines the genre. I feel like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man 2 is probably and like the Tim Burton Batman and probably Batman Returns. Like those are probably as pure and the Richard Donner Superman. Those are probably as pure as a superhero thing gets. They're very campy, but it works for like the superhero thing. If you take it too seriously, it becomes Watchmen-esque or what. Like it undermines itself. You start looking at it like cutting under its own legs in terms of the thing they're trying to support the entire like metaverse on. And in what world would people accept this or whatever? Oh, it's the Adam West version of Batman. Yeah, they in that universe. Yes, I believe they would sign on to Batman existing, but not so much in like the Christopher Nolan version of it all or whatever. Like it's just kind of like, no, this guy is some asshole. We don't know who he is. He's just gonna drag whoever he wants out into the light and expose them like in ways that no reasonable person can be expected to survive or whatever.
I gotta admit something. I never liked the Tim Burton Batman.
I like the 89, the original. I don't even really like the Batman Returns other than Danny DeVito's Penguin, just because he was so foul. He was just so crass. Like yeah. I can't believe I watched that movie. I watched that movie as a kid. I can't believe this shit went completely over my head. Like that and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles too. Like that was another one. Like the amount of like adult themes that just went completely over my head as a kid.
Oh, Secret of the Ooze.
No, the first one actually. Secret of the Ooze was even more kind of kid glove treatment than the first one. Like Raphael getting his ass kicked and nearly killed, and Splinter being like held and tortured. I think he got his ear cut off in that movie. Like there was shit that just like it didn't register when I watched this when I was like 4 or 5 or something. And like it just did not hit me in the same way. And I'm just wondering like I know like my dad or my mom took me to these things. Like what were they thinking when it's like, oh my God, my kid's watching this, but I can't just pull him out. But he's not crying.
Rated movies were different back in our days as kids.
Oh, totally, man.
The Outlaw Josie Wales is a PG fucking movie. And there was fucking rape in the first fucking 10 minutes.
I had a buddy of mine who I worked with. He's like, Logan's Run is one of his favorite movies. It's rated PG, but it has like topless scenes in it, like several scenes. It's like that would be an automatic R in this era.
Swamp Thing has titties in it too,
but it was PG. It was PG because that's the rating system that they had, and nudity wasn't PG. It wasn't even considered like the detriment. It was like more violence oriented than sexual oriented, and then just flip flopped. Like the shit they got away with on like the Dark Knight. Like, it was just like is quick cuts and everything, but like the part where like the Joker like shoves the dude's face onto a pencil, like it's all there. Like it's all implied. It's all there. Like and just like the shit they got away with, plus every other scene you see in that movie where it's like somebody dies or it's implied they died or whatever. I'm just like the shit they got away with just because they didn't show the literal blood or the little like puncture or whatever. It's just all implied. You connect the dots yourself. And it was still like PG-13, but there were like there's no nudity. Like there's not even like coming close to it. Like not even like, oh, they're teasing you with it. Like nowhere.
Remember Jaws?
I don't remember anything like super scant. Oh, there was an opening shit. Yeah, the opening whole thing, and I was just like, oh wait, I can't like. I remember watching this movie. That never registered for me either. Yeah, that's nuts. That's nuts.
No, it's funny. Is the fucking book is more pornographic than the fucking movie is.
Oh, I never read the book.
Oh, there's a part where fucking fucking Brody's wife has an affair with that character played by Richard Donner. You know, the one that goes in the cage.
Mm.
And they fucking go in detail how he's like pounding the fuck out of her.
Yeah, I mean, novelizations tend to do that. So I mean, a movie only has so much time, so they cut stuff that's not really super relevant to the story.
Or they
Yeah, I
change
can believe
stuff to make it better. Like I would still say Jaws is a better movie than a book, and here's why. You know the ending in Jaws, where it's like a air tank that he shoots and he blows up. That doesn't happen in the book. Here's what happens. Fucking shark bleeds to death because he's stabbed with a spear and all this other shit and swimming around.
I mean, that makes way more sense. I mean, they had a number of, as far as the filming goes, there's things where it's just like accidents that work in the favor of the movie. They didn't have, I forget what they called the rig of the shark, but it was just like,
Bruce.
Yeah, it fucking sucked. Like they couldn't get it to do what they wanted to do with it. So all the scenes they had with it were super limited. So instead they relied on shadow and effect. And this is, have you seen a new Batman movie?
No.
Okay.
Like I said, you can spoil it out for me because I don't care.
This is where I think the new Batman movie actually does it right. That they didn't do in the Burton one or the Nolan one. Is that he, like, there's scenes in the movie where he completely is like in the shadows and he comes out of it, or the only time you ever see him is like it's kind of later in the film, but like he's like he cuts the power in the entire place as far as the electrical lights go, and he takes an elevator up into like where like a mob boss and all of his protections at. And they search the elevator, and he's like in the upper corner when they go to search it, and he knocks out the guy that's searching, but they know he's there, but they have no lights at all. And so the only light you see is like whenever they fire their guns, which they only do is when he makes contact with them. So it's just like, it shows the whole action, like every time he makes contact with the next guy, because they're shooting at him, and that's all you see of him. And I'm just like, that's what Batman is supposed to be. Like, he's supposed to be the guy you don't see until it's too late or whatever. And like, it's like the perfect way it's done. Like, why haven't they done this before? Like where he's using the shadow completely to rule the entire game. Like, he rigs the entire situation by cutting the lights, by being in the shadows, and he has night vision or whatever, but they don't. And I'm just like,
saw that in the trailer.
Yeah.
He's walking up with two guys, and they're using fully automatics, and the light is just going around the hallway.
Yeah. There's a whole scene where he's like taking out the security like that, and it's just like, that's fucking brilliant. But even at the beginning of the movie, when a guy's getting insulted, and this got flagged for racial bias or whatever, because it's an Asian guy on a train getting accosted by guys. And it's like, why did you pick an Asian guy to be the target? But he comes out of the shadows in like the alleyway, and that's the whole point, is that like the bat signal's up in the air, and all sorts of criminals are thinking about doing shit, but they look down the shadowed alley or corner or whatever, and they're just thinking he's there. And then he finally does appear out at the certain point in the beginning where they're trying to like assault a guy, rob him, whatever, mug him, and like that's when he finally appears. And it's just like, yeah, that's the way he should be. Like that's what Batman should be. Totally. And so in that respect, I feel like the film really nailed it. For all their shortcomings, misgivings, whatever, it's like that part they nailed it with. I really think it's a great movie, and I think Colin Farrell, like as Penguin, was like top notch, because it was just so unexpected. At the same time, it's just like he, like you could see traces of everyone else in the character they were, but he was so fucking different. It was just like, I was like, if you told me this is Colin Farrell, I wouldn't have known. Even more than I remember watching Tropic Thunder, and I could recognize Tom Cruise, but I couldn't name him in all those scenes as the Les Grossman producer guy.
Oh yeah.
I was like, this guy's so fucking familiar. I know him from somewhere. Where do I know him from? I would never have like picked Colin Farrell at all if I didn't know he was already the Penguin. Like that's how good that whole thing was done. So
Same thing with Robert Downey Jr. on the movie poster.
Robert Downey Jr.
You don't remember Robert Downey Jr. in the movie?
What movie?
Tropic Thunder.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, man, Tropic Thunder, that's one of like my cornerstone. Like that's the last, in my opinion, that's the last truly open comedy film of the 21st century. Yeah. Like where they just had no qualms that like they literally poked fun at mental retardation portrayed in films.
Mm-hmm. They had they made the joke about the closet gay rappers.
Yeah. Cross racial lines in acting, drug use, and I mean, there was all sorts of shit that they were willing to do, pornography talking, like, I mean, all sorts of shit that they covered. And it's just like 1 year, 2 years later, I don't know that it could have happened and had the same reception. And even the dude that played like that was supposed to be like his counter, Al Pacino. I don't know the actual actor's name.
Yeah,
like he's like there's like the whole like DVD commentary background thing. He's like, dude, I fucking love Robert Downey Jr. This guy, he was just digging him because he played the character so well. And even on the Robert Downey Jr., if you listen to the commentary, he still carries that character through just to like play the part of the dude in the film. Like it was just like, you'll never get that again. You'll never get that again. That was like kind of the last point before the wokeness like took over.
The wokening.
So, what have you been keeping up with, man? Like, what are you into?
I'm still checking out the CG scene.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't left you guys. Still investing in projects.
What's your favorites? Is there anything recently you got that you maybe it's in demand still or something you recommend?
Of course, I would always suggest backing Tales from the Natverse too. Sam stuff comes in time. He comes with sick stuff, but I got Joe Sonnentag's Reaper Destroyer. Let's see if I can get a camera set up. He had his I guess he was doing his funding through PayPal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, I dropped it. And got an ash can. What up?
Do you play any games or anything, man?
Yeah, I actually play with Sim on Deep Rock Galactic.
Okay. Have you gotten an Elden Ring at all?
No. I've heard about it. I've seen the videos. I'm just
so
you get ass kicked.
I've been playing it. I'm not that great. I feel like this is a game where in the open world format and everything they give you, like you can totally make ends meet, especially I mean everyone has a video as to how you can beat the hard characters or whatever, man. Like there's a way around it. There's a way around it no matter what. That's hard to make out. It's blurry.
Yeah, it's because of the foil cover.
Mm-hmm. That's cool though, foil, man.
Ah, shit.
Is there a way you can bring the camera close? Oh, kind of can see it.
I could try. The cable's kind of buried. There we go.
That's better, yeah. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that looks awesome, man.
It's a little ash can I got from Joe Sonnentag.
But yeah, Elden Ring is not. It's not beyond anybody's capabilities. I feel like, and unless you literally cannot control your fingers, like you should be able to do it, man. And I wanted to like do like I wanted to talk about it. I don't know, a week ago or 2 weeks ago, but like Fresher Luke like kind of cut me off when I was ready to talk about it, and I'm like, all right, well, I don't feel like fighting somebody on. Oh, that's awesome too.
The Cardinal. This is a Rob Willis cover. Marvel
yeah,
was really promoting this book.
That looks good. Have you read these?
No, not yet. I just haven't had time.
I get you.
And the only one I think I've read so far was Undead Border.
All right.
That one was kind of cool because, well, I kind of got to accuse Zack Snyder or something. It's a better version of that Las Vegas zombie movie.
Oh, that I fucking hated that. My girlfriend's like when that came out, we were just like, oh, let's watch this, and I think it was hot on the heels of Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League on HBO. And you're just like, okay, we'll give it a shot. Literally, the best scenes in it are the montage, like setup scenes.
Yeah.
So that's the best part of it, and the rest just sucks. Like you hate everybody in it, and the daughter of Batista, the only one who I think makes it out alive, other than
the dumb one.
Yeah, and you're just like, she's the worst because she's the one who like made this all come to be. And you're just like, oh god, and it's the dumbest shit ever.
You know what else still bugs me about it is they're like, oh, we'll just get money out of machines. Money doesn't come out of the machine. It's a fucking piece of paper.
Right? Yeah. Exactly.
What casino are you gonna go to? You're gonna break into a fucking machine and get money.
Yeah, it should. It should be like gold bars or some shit, not just like printed cash. It's just like decades. Why don't you just figure it as an e-statement or whatever? Yeah.
And the whole fucking plot. I gotta steal this chick's head for all this money. Well, if that's the case, why don't you just fucking get 3 people to do it? Didn't look that fucking hard.
That was so weird too. Like the whole like zombie baby or whatever thing. Like, yeah, there was a lot of elements to that thing. I was just like, what the fuck is going on? And even the opening of it was just so fucking lame. Where it's just like the guys in the Humvee or whatever talking about what they're carrying, transporting, and then the dude getting a roadhead crashing. And I'm like, no, this is like the worst setup ever.
And you know what? The editing's so terrible. You know the blurry scenes where the fat guy, that guy wasn't even supposed to be in the movie. That was supposed to be James Franco, and they cut him out over sexual assault.
Oh yeah, I think I heard about that. Yeah, like it just seemed overly lame and cheap, and I was just like, this is you're gonna tell me that like this. The entire reason for this patrol, this squad, is completely undermined by a guy just getting roadhead on his wedding night from Vegas. Like, this is so stupid. Like, do you know how sorry the state of affairs would be that that's all it took to like unleash the greatest like threat, like natural threat or what unnatural threat to life as we know it? It was just that. I was like, this is so. It would have been one thing if they hammed that up. You know, like a lot of horror movies do ham that shit up, but they didn't. Like they tried to take themselves seriously, and it's so bad.
Well, the problem was they were trying to take a lot of different plots from different kind of movies, mainly Aliens and Return of the Living Dead, because the whole beginning was from Return of the Living Dead. Army group transporting.
But you know, Return of the Living Dead had fun with what it was, man. Like that's the thing that like helps sell it. Like the whole like send more cops, send more medics or whatever. Like the whole fucking thing was just fucking funny. I don't know. It's just like it missed anything that like would have made it better. I couldn't care. I really couldn't care less for the next iteration. I heard they made like a spinoff with the heist guy, the German dude or whatever.
German guy.
And this is like I no interest, absolutely no interest. Netflix, I mean Netflix original series are just like complete trash, man. At this point, although, I do want to say I watched what is it called, The Last Kingdom. I was into that and I kind of have a theory where series just completely fall to shit in like their 5th season. Like a series can be good for seasons 1 through 4. Like the writers or whoever can at least do that much. They actually did pretty good. However, they did do the cardinal sin of like adding a black person in where like I don't think they would ever be there at all. I'm curious to actually search it up and see if there was an instance of it. Although he's the only black character at all, but he's like a priest for the church. The I don't know if it's like actually Catholic, but the Christian church. And he's not exactly a stellar guy. I wouldn't say he's like the evilest person, but he does pretty much facilitate the worst aspects of what happens. I mean, this is a show, so
is that ancient Asian culture zombie apocalypse TV show?
No, this is so The Last Kingdom is actually about the Danish invasion of England, and they crack down, like they invade in. And it starts out with basically the central character, Uhtred. He's the son of a king of a portion of England that gets invaded, but he gets killed in a battle. And his son was supposed to watch the Viking invasion happen, but he gets involved. He gets killed immediately. So his youngest son is suddenly propelled to the inheritance line, but he's only like 8, 9, like he's a kid, like super young, and he's like, no, you're no longer who you are. You're now your brother, essentially. Like you've taken over the role of taking my spot. And then his father goes off to fight. His father dies, and then his uncle is looking to usurp him, and he does. But the kid also gets taken captive by the Viking force and raised in their culture. So he is like of two worlds, but he's never accepted by one or the other. He's a Dane killer in the Viking world, and he's not a true Briton or Englishman or Anglo-Saxon in the other world, but he works for them. But he's the bridge, and because he's never accepted, he knows everybody that's main players, and essentially he's the guy who can make the play. But they make it really interesting the whole way up. Even this last season they just released it was pretty good, but I was just like, oh man, they just threw a black guy in here for the sake of it. But he is the only one, and he I wouldn't say he's like central, but he is pivotal. What he does, what he releases or tells the other side and facilitates. But they don't try to dress him up as like anybody great. Like, it's not like it's like the Pope or something like that, where it's just like, yeah, get the fuck out of here, or whatever. Like, because there's like some Viking show where they like replaced one of the like Viking kings with a black woman, and it's just like, in what world? In what fucking world would this ever get off the ground with? So it's the first time I've seen them like kind of break with that. And at the same time, it was just kind of like I was waiting for it to kind of fall apart, but they kind of made it really interesting this 5th season, tied it all together, and I would recommend it. I'm kind of wondering where they go from here. In a way, I'm sort of hoping they end it. Did you watch Breaking Bad?
Yep.
So I felt like Breaking Bad, it actually should have ended in season 4, where essentially Gus gets killed. Walter White sort of gets away, but he's not made yet. He doesn't have the money to like secure his family, but he doesn't really have to worry about anything in that term, and he's won this greater like control war against Gus, but it involved a great manipulation of the person who he's supposed to cherish and protect the most. And that's like the greatest thing about it. And then the next season is about him aligning himself with neo-Nazis for drug distribution and exacting revenge against them after they kill his brother-in-law in the DEA. And I'm just like, it's all right for a final season, but it's not as that fourth season was so like poetically done, and the way it ended, like it was just like it was a scene. I remember hearing Bryan Cranston on Letterman or something, like a late night talk show host show, and he's like, literally the last shot of the show is a close up on a plant, or I don't even know if he says a plant. He's just like, it's an inanimate object, and it will fucking blow your mind when you watch it. And when you do watch it, you're just like, holy shit, like he went that far, he did that, he did engineer it, because the show makes you believe otherwise. And you know, like, okay, he sunk to the furthest depths, and it could have just ended there, and it would have been like, just like, what's next, where does he go from there? You don't have to really think about it. But then it's like, oh, fifth season, yeah, neo-Nazis, and he has to get revenge on neo-Nazis after they kill his brother-in-law. And I'm just like, that's so fucking cliche and like kind of lazy. I don't think it had the same impact for me as like Gus Fring, who was like his like counterpart, and like truly like a very like seasoned, smart and like strategic part, opponent, who was actually supposed to be his partner, and playing against them, and he had to like work his angle and finally outsmart him. Like that fourth season was just like so well done, so well.
Wasn't it the
executed.
third season?
Well, it's a mixture. Yeah, third season is when he betrays them. Fourth season is where like Gus is looking at turning Jesse against Walt, and Walt has to convince Jesse to do otherwise.
No, I thought the fourth season was when Jesse went against Walter, because he actually finds out that he did actually use Brosnan against his girlfriend's kid.
No, that was the fifth season. So
the fifth season was like half the season. That's when oh yeah, it's a flashback.
Yeah. So the ending of the fourth season is actually where Walt poisons the kid, but you don't know it. You think that actually Gus has done something, and Walt convinces Jesse that he's done it. The fifth season is him like tying it all up, because Jesse's just like, I know I had that cigarette, that ricin cigarette in my packet. How'd it get out? What did it do? And he like plants it inside of the Roomba vacuum cleaner or whatever. Like the fifth season's like them doing cleanup and setting up like another arc to it. The fourth season was just like, holy shit, Walt used a kid to like win this whole thing between him and Gus. Like he convinced Jesse that Gus had poisoned the kid to like set up this whole situation, and Jesse fell for it. But you don't know that until the very, very end of it. That's where it's like the still shot of the plant, because he's literally in.
Because Gus killed his girlfriend's little brother, right? He was a drug dealer and killed his.
Yeah. So it was just like, it wasn't too far-fetched, but like literally Walt's in the backyard spinning a gun, and all of a sudden it points over at the plant, and he's like, oh, this is actually poisonous plant, and if I feed it to the kid, he'll think it's ricin, and it's just like what Gus tried to do to kill somebody else or whatever. And so he sets it all up where it mimics the ricin poisoning, but it's not the right. Like it was just like so perfectly done, and you don't know it unless you're super cognizant of all that stuff, or just hyper aware of other things. Like you would never guess it. And it's the fact that like you didn't think Walt would go that far, like because he loved Jesse so much and he went out of his way in so many other ways for Jesse. He wouldn't have done that, and I was just like, it could end right there. I would be all right with it because he beat his greatest nemesis in a way, because Gus Fring pretty much had his number at that point, and was outsmarting him in every other way that he tried to kill him, because he tried like putting a bomb on his car and then he just abandoned his car. Like there's all sorts of ways where it's just like he just had a sixth sense of just being like, no, I'm not putting myself out there. And this was like the one avenue he just couldn't see down or predict that Walter would go down. So that's where I thought it was just brilliant. Versus like, okay, they're looking to expand their empire. They need a new supplier. They work with the white neo-Nazis that betray them when Walter tries to save his brother-in-law. It was just like kind of like, yeah, I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad, but it's not as great as like that Gus Fring fourth season was, where you really felt like all the screws are tightening on every situation, and it was just like his days were numbered unless he somehow works out a miracle. So, yeah. Anyways, that was 4 seasons, so that's where I was just like, how many seasons fell apart at that point? Like Game of Thrones, I feel like peaked in its 4th season, and then like 5th season it just kind of fell apart a little bit. 6th season a little more, and then like by the end you're just like, oh my god, how did they fuck this up? Because seasons 1, 2, 3 were so good, and even the 4th season was kind of carried by the Oberyn Mountain and Tyrion trial by combat thing. Like they still had book material to go off of, and after that it was kind of like largely like the author George R.R. Martin gave them some like notes and stuff, but it wasn't as if they had like book material to read from and cut out what they didn't need and put in what they wanted to put in. Like it was largely left up to them to do it, and it just fell apart so fucking fast. That's when like the Sand Snake daughters and shit showed up, and it looked like Power Rangers kind of shit. And I was just like, oh man, like, is there any series that like can make it past? I kind of wondered in the back of my mind, like, how many series have I watched and I just thought like past season 4 or 5 or whatever, they're any good at all? You know, like the Zenith, like where's the top point? Where do they peak? What's the best storyline? Stuff like that. I guess what?
How long
Sopranos,
did Star Trek
Dexter.
last? Yeah, you're kind of right. Dexter kind of ended after season 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like there's a point where it's just like, you know, like they push it further. They still eke out more story, and you still like eat it up in a way, but it's not as good as like that one season.
Oh
like,
no, it was 6. No, it was more than 5 seasons, but those were.
Well, most people say
ones.
the what's his name, John Lithgow, the guy from Third Rock from the Sun.
Yeah.
Like like that was like the peak season. I think that was season 4. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the peak season.
Yeah, and it's not as if like it was horrible after that, but it's just like you never got better than that. Like that was just where like they took the best elements and like sewed it together and like nestled it in everything else perfectly, that like you couldn't repeat again. It was lightning in a bottle. Even though it went on for 8 seasons, something like that, and a lot of people hate that last season. I only watched a couple of episodes of the New Blood. Did you watch any of that?
No, I haven't watched New Blood, and to be honest, I kind of fell off Dexter after season 5.
I wouldn't blame you, man. There was a
season I was really fell off of where this girl was known to be a fucking serial killer, and he's fucking her. And he really likes her, and I'm just like, I
think I watched that one, but the one with Edward James Olmos is the dude.
Yeah,
and
that
he's
was
like putting snakes in the bellies of people. That was where like I was just like, eh. And my girlfriend kept watching it, and she's like, "Don't you want to keep?" And I'm like, "No, I don't fucking care anymore. I just don't care. Like it doesn't hook me the same way the other ones did."
Yeah, that was a mediocre season too. Yeah, that was with Colin Hanks too. and he
I think-
was hallucinating him.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch too much of that one. I think you're thinking of the one with Julia Stiles, where she was like she was a captive and he freed her, and she was looking to get revenge.
That was
by
season
killing-
5.
Yeah, that was like the one after that, and I watched through that one, and then it was just like getting too heavy-handed with like his kid being like a potential killer, and I'm just like, no, little like the Dexter's whole thing was that he like went in adolescence and he started like killing dogs or cutting up dogs or something like that, and his dad could see it, whereas this kid was like suddenly like hurting other little kids and just being like happy-go-lucky, and he's just like wondering, did I father a psychopath, and do I have to worry about passing on this compulsion to him or whatever? And I was just like, this is way too forced and not even justified in any way, shape, or form.
Well, they needed a reason to write the kid out of the show because nobody was going to watch the part.
Right. I mean, I never watched anything past that point, but I kind of read on a wiki like some of the things that happened in the final season and stuff. And I'm just, yeah, I can see where people are like upset with the way it ended, like just how like forced it was and how empty it seemed and all that. But I heard that the new season didn't end that great either. So
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so much you could do, but you would hope that 10 years later you'd have something great to kind of show for it.
I just watched the Spider-Man movie.
The last one?
Yeah, No Way Home.
Mm-hmm.
I was
What do you think?
Like, meh.
I liked Alfred Molina as Doc Ock. I think he was one of the standout performances, but at the same time, it worked off a lot of nostalgia and meme kind of stuff too. I didn't feel like it really set apart this universe too much. And it sort of backtracked too, because they were setting up Spider-Man in his last movie to sort of be a Tony Stark replacement, and then in this one, it was kind of like, nope, he's just gonna be a guy in tights, like literally like lycra suit or whatever. Like he's sewing up his suit, he's getting rid of all his connections, and he's not gonna be tied down to anybody. And I hate. That's probably the one thing I hate the most about the Spider-Man character and how Marvel kind of did him in the 90s with the whole Clone Saga and everything after that. It's just like, oh, Peter Parker, like especially the Brand New Day, one more day, Brand New Day, Aunt May being saved by a deal with the devil that cost them their marriage. It's just like, this is so convoluted and stupid. To keep Peter Parker in Arrested Development, essentially. It's just like, why don't you just make a new Spider-Man or what? Like, I think it's natural, like I like that, at least in the Batman series or whatever, they hint at that it's a mantle that's going to get passed down. Like, eventually, I can no longer be Batman, but I have a ward who can take up my spot when that's over, if he so chooses. And, usually it's kind of like, yeah, at that point they see the light or whatever. Grant Morrison kind of pushed that, I think, more than anyone. And then it's just like Spider-Man is just like, yeah, we're gonna get rid of Mary Jane, and like they even shoved it in the faces of people who were into it, like in the Big Time or something storyline where like it was just like a joke that they should get back together at all. And it was just kind of like, wait, so like I hate this whole notion of like Parker luck, like it's bad luck. It's like, okay, yeah, somebody get bad luck, but he's a literal fucking superhero with superpowers. How could he not improve his life in some facet or whatever? I kind of hated the Spider-Man character for that. Like he's perpetually glum and everything. It's like, dude, you can like outmaneuver 99% of everybody out there. What? Why are you like in this stage? Other than like, yeah, your uncle's death should haunt haunt you, quote unquote, propel you to like do more than you should, but it shouldn't go this far where like you never see any other future for yourself or strive for your own happiness. There's a part of it that I just fucking hate, and the way they just fumbled that whole thing, and like Norman Osborn ended up being like the grand mastermind behind that whole thing after the end of it. That went on for years, man. And then that's your great thing. I was like, all right, I'm I'm done with this shit. And yeah, the fact that like he couldn't be married, have a kid or anything, and that he would throw away any future to save Aunt May from dying from like a sniper shot or something like that. I was just like, this is just beyond me to like get into at that point. What about you? I mean, are you a Spider-Man fan? Do you feel like he hits your buttons in any way at all?
I mean, Spider-Man was an okay hero.
Yeah, and I feel like it's something you could work with, but I've never seen it executed like.
I like the concept of Spider-Man more. It would always seem fun to be him.
Right. Yeah, I would say that too. And it's also kind of weird, like the whole Uncle Ben, Aunt May, but they look like grandparents, and I'm like, what situation were you in? Like, I kind of wonder about that family dynamic. Like, what the hell happened to your parents? How old were they? And who is actually blood related to you, and how? Because like they're literally geriatrics, it seems like. And in the early issues, which are actually really good, I had the DVD of like the Amazing Spider-Man set, and it's crazy just how many fucking iconic characters, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, I think it's Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko, introduced at the beginning of the Spider-Man series. It was just like one after another, man. It was like Chameleon, Dr. Octopus, Green Goblin, Mysterio, Sandman. Like, dude, all the major characters, one after another, like each issue, like in that first year, like they're just defining all like the cornerstone characters in the entire series. But they like Stan Lee loved to like fall back on like this notion of like Spider-Man has a cold or a flu, or he's sick, or he got just darted with some kind of tranquilizer or poison or whatever, and all of a sudden his spider sense is gone and he's completely helpless and like just a punching bag for whoever, or he can't react how he's supposed to. Like, that's the whole like how Gwen Stacy dies or whatever thing. Is just like he's in a lesser state. It's just like how many times he falls back on that. It's just like nuts. I like the fact that he wasn't necessarily a straight up hero out of the box. He had to like get his ass kicked a couple of times, lose, and like learn, because you're just like a teenage kid take on this role in a way. Like Dr. Octopus, I think beats his ass up like in their first encounter, and like he learns from that, like moving forward. But it's crazy how much like iconic stuff is just like up front with them, and like that first year or two of characters and moments and stuff, like just how much, like, so rushed, so much like stuff, throw at the wall and see what sticks, and it's just like one thing after another after another. They might have been refined, but a lot of those characters are introduced in like those first series, and they never grow past that. That's the other thing. Like they're perpetually stuck with them. So what else is going on, man?
News or event wise?
Yeah, whatever floats your boat. I mean, I try not to get too dour, but I understand when people can't help it.
A few months ago in December at work, bartender and we had this backpack sitting at the side of the building under a bush, And the bartender's like, there could be money or something in there. Drugs. Let's go take a look. So I put some gloves on, start taking a look, digging in his backpack, find some hygiene products for a dude, clothes for a dude. And then I reach in and grab this very familiar feeling part. And it was wrapped in 2 fucking black bags. And then I put my hand cup around a spot that feels really, really fucking familiar. And then I start fucking screaming, going, "Ah, you motherfucker." It's a fucking dildo. Big ass fucking dildo. I fucking grab it and throw it at the fuck bartender's lap.
That's funny, dude. Yeah, I mean, I don't have much else. I mean, I was gonna comment on cash grab closing thing. I don't feel like that's as a major thing, just because it's been, man, like 2 years and some change coming. But I'm excited that it's finally gonna hit the end. Like I've heard from various people development things and stuff, and so I've been excited to see it finally hit the peak thing. And I don't know any more. I don't know any more than anyone else right now. What's the next time frame or anything? But I'm excited just to finally get it finished up. Some of these projects are just so long waiting in the wings. There's a number. How many have you backed that are just like stuck in development?
Still haven't got cash grab. Still haven't got Deathsworn.
Deathsworn, yeah, that's one I'd like to see. I haven't backed it yet. I'm waiting for that to be like
Wrecked Planet.
Wreck Planet. That's another one.
Oddity.
Did you back Shinobi Sasquatch?
Yep.
Yeah, that's one for me too. Rainbow Brute, also in that group.
Haven't backed that one.
No, I mean, it doesn't seem like it's going to get done anytime soon. Anything else that I backed that?
I'm trying to think, and I don't want to ignorantly name something and sound like a dick.
Right. I mean, these are kind of like outstanding ones. So I'm happy for all the people, and I feel like there should be more showcases of the people that like regularly return stuff or do like a quick turnaround, even from the campaigns they have done.
That's why I always back Sim.
Yeah. I mean, that's good stuff to go by. And I remember first reading, I think it was from Smiling Bandito. Like he left some comment up somewhere. It's just like, I've been burned on backer projects before. I can't remember what specific ones, but he's just like, unless it's pretty much there at the finish line or it's being fulfilled in the moment, like I don't really back it anymore because I've been burned so many times before. And I'm feeling like in that camp now. I'm just like, man, like some of these I'm not even sure they're ever going to be finished, ever. And it's a shitty way to feel about a project. And yeah, it's just like there's no promise of anything else. Like none.
Shit. It almost been fucking 2 years for Deepwell.
And it's just like, I guess that's my money gone. And there's one that I was a really big backer on. So I'm just like, oh, like I'm hoping that they come through, but there's no guarantee. And I mean, it's kind of like a lesson learned, I guess. But yeah.
I mean, should it be over a year that I should look at? Because some of these are just almost a year.
I would say at least that much. I mean, right now I'd give people more leeway. Like if you meant to hit printers right now and all that, and shit just went downhill, like I could understand. But if it's just like literally the artist and the writer or whoever project manager haven't even talked, or the last update was months ago and stuff like that, like what's another one? Fatal is one that I'm willing to wait because I think Charlie Snowden's has great art. but it's just like, man, like how has it been this long? And like Clint has kind of put up some progress and stuff, but it just still feels like it's maybe end of this year, next year, and it's just like, you know, like you have several of these hit this point. It kind of you kind of look at every new thing in another angle, and it sucks for people that like they're really actually using this platform for campaign funding purposes. Like, I don't have the money to fund what it's going to cost for XYZ, so I have to hit this mark, and once I do, I can make the book. Like, I'm determined to make the book, but I need this money. And then there's these other ones that are just like, I mean, rolling into cash, and it's been months, years and months of time in between, just like no updates, no promises of anything, no significant changes. And you're just like, are you kidding me? You guys have XYZ in the bank. Why isn't it already done? Why isn't it already sent out? So I'm kind of rolling more towards the side of stuff that's more complete, but I still want to keep an open mind or open pocketbook, I guess, for anybody that has a project they want to get out there, but you know, they just can't out of pocket at the moment complete it. And that's really what it should be for, to be honest. Like, a number of these projects is just like $500 funding goal, and yet they'll make $50K or something like that plus, and it's just like, oh, that's just to get like bolster up your portion on the page on Indiegogo when people just go in cold to see your project. So it's things like that. I mean, I'm not too hard one way or the other, but it does kind of like dismay me in a way, watching it all go down like that. Do you feel like that too?
Sometimes.
All right.
I mean, at other points, I'm looking at some campaigns I backed. The only one that I got a long time ago that I still haven't gotten, for obvious reasons why I didn't get it yet, was Agenda. If you remember Agenda.
No, what's the story behind that one?
That's the one Matt Cosson was working on with, and the writer died.
Oh.
So nobody knew what to do.
Yeah, that would make sense. Did you do anything? I mean, I kind of feel we're closing in on 2 hours. That's kind of usual lifetime I do. Did you do anything fun for St. Patrick's Day? Anything festive?
I bought some Colt 45s and drank them.
There you go. Attaboy. Yeah, I went out and had drinks with some friends I haven't seen in a while. One of them's getting a new job from restructuring and stuff, and I wish her the best of luck. But I was like, yeah, you're in for a shit show, just so you know. But it was a fun time. It's been a while since I've like really hit any kind of drink hard. And yeah, for any Elden Ring homies, man, let's pour some out for the nerfs that happened in this latest update. Broke my heart. Some of the swords and shit I used that helped me carry through suddenly nerfed. But I went ahead and I was like, you know what? Before they do anything further, let me take some of these other things I've been building up as like in the back of my pocket. And I beat the game, so I got like kind of everything I was looking for, and it's kind of weird. I do think it's a great game. Open world. There's a lot of NPC storylines, and the lore. It's funny and like how straightforward it is, and at the same time, hidden at the same time. So, for example, it's not too far into the game. You get to like kind of this some point, if you played the Demon Souls games, is like the Nexus. Like it's kind of like where NPCs go, like the safe NPCs go to hang out and stuff. You can't attack them in this one. You could in Demon Souls, but it's kind of like stage up where you can't use your weapons and stuff. So they're friendly. And yet there's one who's like, she literally is like, her thing is, I'm a death companion, and I'm meant to like comfort those who are in death. And it's been a while since I had the embrace of a champion. Would you let me hug you? I'll just use the energy, like your vigor, or your health, or whatever, like that. And in return, I'll bolster this other thing, whatever. And you just figure it's like a matter of speech. And yet, like if you go through with it, like you lose your health bar like shortens by a little bit, but it's like very, very understated. And then you get this like power up item in return, but it's like never really discreetly said. Like it just happens kind of under your nose, and yet it's all there in the text, and it just seems like it's all metaphor or something like that. Like yeah, I just need to get close to you, and just by being close to you, I'll get this. And it's like, no, like she's literally spelling out what's about to happen to you. And if you watch it, it will happen right in front of you. But usually you're just like focusing on the act, and you don't see like your health bar at the very top just shortened by just a small amount. And there's shit like that happens throughout the whole thing, where you're just thinking it's metaphor or something else, but it's actually like a true meaning to it. And bit by bit, like it's a game that's exposed by dialogues that you could miss, interactions with NPCs that you can miss, and item descriptions and stuff like that. But if you do pay attention, like you'll tie all the things together and you'll be like, whoa, like there's a great world of shit beyond here. But you're talking about like hours and hours of play, and it's just like, I only have so much time in the day. And like I can't imagine somebody going into it cold and like literally no strategy guides, no information from anywhere, getting through all this stuff and finding some of these characters or like quest lines and everything that they have going on in it, because there's just so much going on.
This game looks fucking crazy.
It's fucking expansive, and not only that, but it's deceptive. Like you get to a castle, and it's not just like the castle itself, it's like they set it up in a way that it's like a maze. Like it's cutting back on itself. There's literally like you have to jump across a rooftop, this walkway, walk across a ledge, and then jump on this certain point, and then you finally get to that item that you see way over there. And that's the only way you can get to it. But you have to be like determined to get it, or know, like somebody already pointed the path out to you. And it's kind of the point of the game, because they do have like, it's meant to be like an online connection thing where people can scroll messages that can be either false or true, and they have a rating system for it. But you never know, like sometimes the community just wants to fuck you over really good, so they'll vote it up or whatever. And there's like hidden walls, things off the map. Like there's all sorts of ways like they'll fool you. And like even when you're expecting it, like, because it's like, I know I've seen enough videos, it's like, all right, I should check this corner, I should check that, but they'll make it look like you can't even do it, but you can do it. You just have to try to do it, because it's like there's no way I can get to that point. Like that I can't jump up that. And then you like start jumping, and then you will make the connected jumps. You're like, no fucking way. Like it was right under my nose. I was right there. I didn't even do it because I thought I would die, because that's where the game gets you. It's so easy to die. You so much of the game, you're just like, I don't want to fucking go back and have to redo this whole section again. So I'm not gonna go for it. And then like you see somebody that does. Or if you're online, they'll have messages, and you never know too. Like again, like it's either it's a true fact, like yeah, I can go there or do this, or it's a fucking lie, and you just don't know what to believe, because people do both things. And they even do shit like They put messages in front of ladders and things like that. So like you go into a portion where you're just like, oh my god, I need to get out of here fast. So you go over to the ladder, but the same button to go up the ladder is the same button to read the message on the ground that somebody scrawled. So you have to like choose to go up the ladder as like an option, and that slows you down just enough that you might get killed like by the enemies on the floor that you're on or whatever. And it's just like it's like crazy, and it's funny to watch the rage videos and stuff that goes on. Like if you played it enough, like you'll get it, and you'll be like, oh my god, yeah, this is painful. But for somebody like me who like really never got into the Dark Souls games or anything like that, this is totally approachable, totally open. I would say 90% of the strategy is just like run through the fucking thing and don't fight. Like just like you see something that looks interesting, go up there, open the chest, grab it, and go. Like don't fight, don't be a hero. Don't try to fight anybody. Just grab it and run. You get something cool and you don't have to die for it. And redo it all. So yeah, that's I think it's a fun game, a great game. And at least they're like kind of true to what it is. But yeah, they just didn't update where some of the stuff that was really like hardcore awesome has just been scaled back. Where it's like, yeah, it's still good, but it's not as like game changing as it used to be. And at least I made it through like a bunch of shit already off of the grace of those powerful objects. But now it's been scaled back, and I worry about future stuff. And what really irritates me is like I play a mobile game where they'll do stuff like that, where they'll change the stats on somebody. It's like, oh, it's not working as intended. It's like, well, you fuckers made this game. You released this shit. You didn't test it or anything. And they nerf it down. And at least on like my mobile game, like you have the option of like if they do major changes, you can, if you leveled it up, like you can take away those resources and put it into something else. And I don't think that this has that. But yeah, you know, you got, I don't know what, like $50 or something to buy it with. I don't know if there's some kind of discount deal out there. I would say it's really well worth it if you like video games at all. But yeah, it will like kind of kick your ass in a lot of places, but it's totally doable.
I'm kind of interested to see what George R.R. Martin did with this.
Apparently, I'm not sure exactly, but I read that he wrote the backstory. So everything that is from before you start the game has been set up by him, and then everything moving forward is written by the game team or whatever. But it's actually, it's kind of like Games of Thrones-ish. Like it's like there's things that are hidden. Like I said, like you'll deal with dialogue and stuff where it's just like it's actually giving you more information than you think you're getting, but you have to read between the lines or connect those dots in the moment to do that. But yeah, I would recommend it. And I really dig the story, and they did dirty, man, because there's a part of me that wants to like be like, oh, screw these updates, man. I want my original swords and all this other shit that I dumped all these resources into. And then they released like expanded NPC stuff and other fixes. So I'm just like, man, I have to get rid of that to go back to the standard version of what it is. And it kind of makes me miss you know, the hardcore cartridge disc format of the you know, what would it be, Atari to PlayStation 2 days, you know, like before there was like internet patches and all that stuff for games.
I think it was original Xbox too.
Oh, they had patches on their stuff?
No, they never had patches.
Oh yeah, like that generation. So like GameCube, Xbox, PlayStation 2. That's like the last iteration of like at least console games, where like it was like the game you got as a disc, that was like the game you played, unless occasionally there was like the PAL release or re-release expanded edition or whatever that they would put out where like they fix some things, and usually it's just problems with the actual game, but they might actually like change the stats on weapons that or items that completely change the game or locked it off. There's different ways I wish they went about it, but they did what they did.
Well, there was a Game Shark.
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah. Game Genie, Game Shark. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, those could be fun. I think I only got like one Game Shark, but yeah, those were kind of cool too. But eventually those were like in the cartridge days, those were very viable. But after it got to disc stuff and the amount of code they needed to overwrite or change up stuff was just crazy. So yeah, after that point, it kind of stopped. And then the next iteration, what, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, that's when they started doing like versions, patches, downloads, all that. And it wasn't super hardcore, but now it's just like, it's everywhere. At least, I would say, at least this game doesn't have like fucking
Battlefield glitches.
Well, there's like a player versus player mode, like you invade other people's game and just fight against them, and some people complain about the builds people could get away with, and that's part of what the patch fixed. But it's like if you're playing single player like what I am, like that doesn't really matter to you. And what was the other thing? Shit, I forgot. Yeah, I forgot. Fuck me. Oh well. Yeah. Anything else on your radar for this week or anything this day?
Oh, comics wise?
Anything, man. Anything.
Oh. I've been regretting I'm missing that Nosferatu book. Nosferatu? Nosferatu?
Nosferatu?
No.
Oh.
Not that one. It's Nosfero.
I don't know about that one.
Whoever that fucking guy is. That looks like a badass book.
There's a lot of, I mean, it's crazy how far the scene has gone. The campaign scene has gone since a year or two ago. Like how many ones are out there, how many are good. It's really just like, does your stuff look awesome or not?
I like it. It gets me something to look forward to.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm pretty much covered all the bases I wanted to cover. Let me see if I can pull up. I kind of closed everything because my browser froze up here, but I'm going to see if I can see where cash grab closeout things going if they are closing it out. It wouldn't surprise me if CISO just like did nothing with it. Oh, it's just him and John still. Let's see here. Sure.
I can't believe he's actually closing it out.
Oh, he'll have to. He's looking to just get final numbers for print runs and everything. But yeah, it's just him and John.
Yep. Have you seen that Chrissy Mayer episode with It's a Gundam and Cecil?
No, they were on there at the same time.
Yeah, I would totally love to see more streams with two of them. Those two fucking work off each other. Fucking really, really great. They're fucking hilarious. They got really great comedic timing.
Well, Cecil is just like a godsend. I think him and John gel well together, but I mean, the way Cecil can just like come into shit, it's seemingly like dry and just like make shit happen. it was one of the other nights he went on Ethan's stream and his sound was like blowing out, and Ethan's like, turn your gain down, and then Cecil's just like, you turn your gain down, and then he's like, your weight gain, and it like literally like as fast as that, and like Ethan just like just started laughing. Everyone started laughing. It's just like, that's like, how many times does he do that where it's just like seemingly stream of talk, stream of consciousness, like he'll do that. And
only Cecil can.
Yeah, I mean, he's just quick on his feet, and it's kind of funny too. I feel like it's somewhat with me too. Like when you've had a couple drinks, few drinks in you, like you're actually better at it than you are when you're just completely sober. Like you're sort of in the moment, feeding off the energy or the latest information and going off of it. But yeah, like he's just been. Is there anyone else that could fill that role, that can do that as well as he does?
It's a Gundam.
Maybe I haven't watched his stuff. I've seen him a couple times, but yeah, I'll have to watch that show you're talking about.
So one with the one with Chrissy Mayer.
Mm-hmm. I'll look it up. So I'll try to find out what that is, and just have it playing on the background when I'm doing something else. That's usually how I watch most of these things.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I feel it's hard for me to connect to the internet at work and watch a live stream anymore.
Yeah. I usually wait for it to finish, and it sucks when they just pull them down and get rid of them or unlist them or whatever the hell it is. I usually wait for them to end and then play them at like 1.5 speed or something like that, so I can just like get through it faster. Yeah, I'm not devoted. Instead of like for a 5-hour stream, I'm like 3 hours, 3.5 hours. Like I'm saving some kind of time by doing that, and you get rid of like a lot of like the pauses, the long like just silence stuff and everything like that. Like you get more of it, but on another level, sometimes you miss like some of the comedic timing on stuff. But usually, for me, 1.5 speed, I don't miss anything anybody's saying. Like I'm able to keep up with the conversation, but occasionally, like I do have to like be like, wait, what did he say? And a number of times it's like stream over talk, like 3-4 people speaking at once. You just like it's just gone. Like they heard it, but you didn't hear it. But that's the way it goes. Yeah, we're at 2 hours, man. Thanks for coming on. Anything you want to throw up there? Push for yourself or somebody else?
Backtales from the Nat verse 2 by Simon Ponte.
There we go. Yeah, and look out for Cash Grab 2. Hopefully yours truly might be in it in some way. I will be in the fan art section of Cash Grab. That was one of the stretch goals, so everyone will get that with the book, along with a bunch of other artists around the scene. God knows how much Cecil art is out there. It's just so telling, like how many people are willing to do that rather than Batwoman or Batman, Catwoman, or even Batwoman fan art and Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan shit.
That's trendy right now.
Yeah. Not for long, man. it's fake trending.
It always is.
I don't see anybody getting it. Even, did you watch Book of Boba Fett at all?
No.
Me? Yeah, I just, it didn't appeal. Even the character in Mandalorian, like when he showed up, I was just like, that's Boba Fett? This is what they're going with? Okay. I don't have a compulsion to watch more. I was kind of done after that. But yeah, I don't know. Everyone's hanging on to that. I feel at this point, Disney's kind of like played out what they're going to do with it or what it's going to be like. And just doesn't interest me at all. If they went hardcore, like deep dark, gangster dive on it, then I might be into it. If they did like surprise shit, like bringing back some of the original expanded universe and everything, that would be even more epic. Like acknowledging the shit that came before it and honoring it and doing it right, doing it justice.
I
That's
hate
a
to
play
say
they
this.
should make.
I hate to say this, but
What's
the
this?
guy from Red Letter Media,
Mm-hmm.
I forgot his name, Mike. He's
Mhm.
totally right about Star Wars. There's nothing deep out of it when you get past Luke Skywalker and the Empire.
Actually, I think Darth Vader's the like it was originally Luke Skywalker, but Darth Vader in Empire Strikes Back kind of takes over. He was supposed to be a side character, but then once it's revealed that he has the relationship with Luke, it's all about his salvation and turning back.
Well, that too. Star Wars
redemption.
can't get deeper past Darth Vader either.
Yeah, and the thing is that at least as much as I hated the prequels, they still felt like Star Wars movies. Like they still had that touch where they felt like they're in the same universe. Ever since Force Awakens, it's just been like this is an entirely different franchise, entirely different treatment. It's an emulation, but I can tell it's an emulation. Like it's not. It doesn't feel like the real deal. Like even though the prequels I think sucked, it still had George Lucas in it. It still felt like a part of Star Wars. It's
they
just
were
like
just really terrible reboots.
yeah, essentially. And I mean, just like it didn't fit in. It's like how did you go from this to what the following quote unquote following movies are supposed to be? Just how like pristine and immaculate and everything seemed to be, and then you get to the original Star Wars, and this is like clunky, outdated, kind of dirty, lived in universe that just seemed completely at odds with everything before it. And honestly, you just told it better. Like the space opera doesn't need a whole lot of extra shit to it that the prequels like tried shoving in. There was like political intrigue and all this. It's like, no, you just need evil, good, and like main characters and some dynamic between them, and you're all set. You don't have to overthink this shit or add too much to it. And then like Force Awakens was just like a retread of that stuff, but at the same time I'm like, wait, the Rebel Alliance beat the Empire in Return of the Jedi. So what is the First Order and what is the what is it, New Republic, and what who are these people? How do they fit into each other? And it never fucking explained that.
Most of all, why the fuck would Darth Vader manipulate Kylo Ren to be a bad guy again?
Well, in that too, like he was proven to be the Jedi ghost, so why would he? And at the same time, what influence is he getting from a melted mask? How did he get the melted mask?
Exactly.
Like there's a ton of like open-ended questions that never get answered. How did the lightsaber end up with the orange bug-eyed girl? She never explained that. How did Rey have like some flashback scene from touching it? That's never been done before. How did the Force Ghost Yoda do all that shit at the quote-unquote Jedi Temple? What are these Jedi tech? Like there's all sorts of like there's question after, like the more they tried to explain, the more questions you had. Like this was never brought up before. This was never in Luke's thing, and he worked for years at it. They're like him and Daisy are pretty much the same age, like when they come into these stories. Or what the fuck's her name? It's not Daisy in the thing, is it? I forget. Ray. She's never like actually trained, but she does all this shit that even Luke doesn't do until really Return of the Jedi, like the mind control. All this stuff is like he already had spent time with Yoda. He already been to Cloud City. He already got his ass kicked by Darth Vader and all this other shit. And yet she's just like completely new to it all and just has the inkling like maybe I can do this, and does it. And there was a notion like she had been taught, but her memory had been clouded, but they never went with that. It's like, well, that would have made better sense than what they did do. Snoke, complete like, what the fuck? Oh, it's just the Emperor again. He needs some genetic lab freak, like
the Emperor who happened to blow up to fucking pieces.
Yeah, inside like the engine of a Death Star. It's like there was no safe point. Like even let's say the explosion didn't kill him. It's like where was he gonna where was he gonna hide or go to? Like, what was his safe point? What they this whole thing explodes even later on.
He buried everything in a random planet.
Yeah,
You just have to believe it. It's Star Wars.
It was just so monumentally stupid. And the moment Return of what was that? The Last Jedi. The moment that came out, it was just like, you fucked it all up. Like, this is the intermediary point. This is the transitional point, and you literally put really a period at the end of everything that you were running off of from the first movie. It's like you have nothing left at this point. I was just like astounded that they let that go. It's like, you guys were trying to sell a trilogy and you didn't even realize your second movie fucked up the third movie, like inherently in the way it was written.
You know what I think they were trying to do?
I have no idea what they're telling me.
Trying to make. I think of it when I finally saw fucking Glass with M. Night Shyamalan. Uh-huh. He hated the idea of making a sequel. He hated it so very fucking much. So what's the best way so people never ask for another sequel? Kill off all the fucking characters.
It's very possible. I know he like put out something where it's like, your Snoke theory sucks, like to Twitter or something like that, like where it's just like, I mean, the thing is like, when you have how many millions of fans or hundreds of thousands of fans, and some of them are really fucking smart and can write a really good story or fill in gaps, and it's just like, shit. Like, you read their story and it's like you had an inkling of something like that, but they even did it better than you did, and you're just like, I can't go with that. And that's why I feel like Rian Johnson went the way he did with it. Is just like, no, it's all, we're gonna throw it all out. I'm gonna fuck up Luke, I'm gonna fuck up the Jedi Order, I'm gonna fuck up Snoke, I'm gonna fuck all this up. And like, just, whoever else after me is gonna figure it all out. But
subvert expectations.
Yes,
right?
I'm gonna subvert them expectations. Oh man, there was such a mess. There's such a mess. And I was somebody who was like kind of turned off at Force Awakens. It's like, this is a retread, and it's really not even that good. It doesn't even establish the fundamentals of what's going on. I even didn't take as much issue with the Leia space float scene. I know why people are upset with it, but it's like,
that shit was dumb.
It was dumb. However, it's kind of funny when you actually look into how you would die if you were in space. Like, the whole notion that you freeze and shatter, that's really overplayed. It's actually that you would asphyxiate. Like, your air pressure, your blood pressure inside of you is much greater than anything outside of you. So your blood would want to escape from your body, go to the surface, so you get contusions and shit like that. And then the air in your lungs, should you have any, would want to go out, so it would burst, and you'd asphyxiate. That's usually how you die. Like, you don't freeze, you don't instantly freeze, because you need your body temperature to drop, which means you need a medium, and you're in a vacuum of space, you don't have a medium. Like, you would dissipate heat slowly, but like, if you think on Earth, like when you freeze, you're in air is taking away your temperature, or you're in water is taking away your temperature. There's something that's sucking you up, your heat energy. So you wouldn't automatically instantly freeze unless there's something that was like there to sap that out of you. It's more the atmospheric pressure is no longer on you, so your blood would boil, I think, in space. And like I said, the air in your lungs would want to burst out. And like the whole thing, like on, what was the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie?
Total Recall.
Yeah, like where your eyes would bulge out and shit, like that sort of thing would happen. But you wouldn't like instantly freeze and shatter. So it's kind of like, I could sort of see it, but at the same time, it was just like, why on earth would you even facilitate this option and do this, rather than just like, okay, why isn't she just like in the next room over, and all these other important people die, and she gets that loss, or and it also opened up, like, how did they get her inside without the entire place like depressurizing and sucking everyone else out when they open that airlock? Because there's literally no other endpoint. Like it's just that doorway she comes up to. It's just, like it should have been the guy being like, I can't let you in. We'll all die if we let you in. Kind of thing. That was where it fell short. But I didn't mind so much that she like pulled herself through there force wise, but I do get where it's just like this is a really push circumstance that you shouldn't do because it's going to bring up this controversy anyway, where you're arguing things that you just shouldn't even have on the table. Like, just take it away. There's no reason that you had to do that, other than subvert expectations, like you said. It was just a dumb fucking movie all the way around.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I went on longer than I expected to there, but I'm gonna end it here. Tales of the Net verse 2. And we'll see you next time, everybody. Happy St. Patrick's Day for those of you here at the very beginning. And hope you all had a little drink in you. Good night, everybody. Thank you, El Gargoyle, for being on.
No problem.
And see y'all around later.